Salvete discipuli, it's Magistra Johnson, your Latin teacher. And in this video, I would like to take you on a tour of our classroom in Moodle. Right now, we're looking at our home page in our Moodle course. This is where you will enter the course every time you sign on. There are a few important things here that you need to be aware of. First of all, the news forum, which is where I will be making posts regularly during the week, at least once, sometimes twice, or even multiple times during the week, to inform you about things that you need to keep doing or about special announcements. Any post that I make in the forum also comes to your email, which you have connected to Moodle. So please make sure to check either the news forum or your email daily. You'll also notice that here is my personal contact information, my Hempfield High School email address, if you need to contact me and don't have access to Moodle. Otherwise, I would prefer that all contact be done through the Moodle messaging system, which you can activate by simply clicking on this little speech bubble right here next to your name. And this will open up an area where you can actually send a message to me, and I can also message you. If you have messages waiting to be read, you will see a little red number next to it, like a 1 or a 2, depending on how many are waiting for you to read. So that's also another way of contacting me, in addition to using my personal email address at Hempfield. We also have a copy of our spring semester calendar here on our home page, as well as the handbook, which outlines your responsibilities as a student for participating in Open Campus. Just a real quick word about that. Your primary responsibility as an Open Campus student is to make sure that you are completing your work on time. And that you are accessing your email and your course daily or every other day. That is the expectation. This is something that you want to consider, just like all of your other courses. Although you are not required to work at a specific time of day, there are deadlines that you are required to meet, and it is your responsibility to make sure that you do so. Any work that is not completed by a stated deadline will receive a failing grade. That's 50%. There are no makeups, there are no extensions unless you specifically ask for one, and I have specific requirements that I look at before I will determine if you have qualified to receive an extension. As we continue down our homepage, I want to draw your attention to the Let's Get Acquainted activity. This is the first thing that you are going to be asked to complete, preferably by Tuesday or at the latest Wednesday, January 22nd. This allows you to introduce yourself to me and to your other classmates. It also will acquaint you with the VoiceThread website, which is a Web 2.0 tool which I use to instruct and you will be using on special occasions like this. You will need to make a VoiceThread account. There is a link here that shows you how to do this, and then you will need to complete the VoiceThread introduction. You will hear me talk about myself, and then you will be asked to respond in a similar fashion. And together, you'll be able to introduce yourself. Well, we'll be able to introduce ourselves to one another. Just an FYI, VoiceThread does have an app which you can use on the iPad. However, my own personal experience is that the app is rather unreliable. Therefore, when you are working with VoiceThread in this course, you really will have the best experience if you are logged into a laptop or a desktop computer. As we continue through our home page, please pay attention to the folder where you see the weekly assignments. Let's open that up and take a look at the first week's assignments. Here we go, Module 1 Calendar. Module 1 runs from Monday, January 20th to Sunday, February 2nd. You will be receiving a calendar like this in the first forum post, and you can also find it every week or every time a new module opens in the weekly assignments folder. This is where there are instructions about when to ask for an extension and what the circumstances are surrounding how you will be given an extension. And then you'll notice that the calendar outlines the 2 weeks of the module for you and gives you a plan for working through the module. You are not required to follow this plan. The plan is designed to help you have a consistent and what I think is the most beneficial learning experience with this course. By following this plan, you will always stay on track, you will not get behind, and you will be looking at the material daily, except for weekends, and that will allow you to retain, remember, practice, and use, just like you were in a classroom with me where I would see you every day and you would practice, remember, and use the material. The only hard and fast date on this calendar is Sunday, February 2nd. That is the final day that all work for Module 1 must be completed. Anyone who has not completed any piece of work for Module 1 by 11:59 p.m. on February 2nd will be given a failing grade, which will be 50% of the stated amount of the points for the activity. You will not be allowed to make that up for a grade. You are certainly welcome to go back and do that activity to get the learning experience and the material and the information, but you are not permitted to get a higher grade than a 50% for it. Now let's continue to go back and look at our home page and some other things that you will find there which will be useful for you. Something that I am building this semester as we go through the course is this course glossary. It's going to contain key concepts and definitions that we encounter through Latin 1 and will be your first place to go if you have a question. It will even include how-to videos and instructions with respect to uploading assignments or adding information into quizzes. There are Latin resources here for you to use, an online dictionary. This is the dictionary that I prefer that you use because I'm very familiar with it and I feel that it is very reliable. There's also some information here about learning Latin vocabulary, how Latin sounds. This tells you something about the sound of Latin if you're interested in learning how to pronounce it. There are some links for some Latin board games that you can play online and some other links for grammatical concepts. These will probably eventually, these two links, will make their way into the key concepts and definitions for Latin 1.